What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to this episode of Brought on Q Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Logan Chestnut. Joining me today are my Bama boys, Mr. AJ Johnson of the Norella Barbecue Team and Justin Turner. Don't worry about him. What's up, fellas?
Hey.
Oh, man. How you ladies doing tonight, man?
Good about you?
Oh, just peachy keen, man. Justin, you ready for this big baby? This baby to drop?
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
That's a negative, sir. That's a negative. I bet your wife's like, hell yes, I'm ready. Get this devil
Ready
now.
Ready to pop.
And dude, repeat after me. Yes, dear. Whatever she
Yes.
says, that's dear. And when she breaks your hand and when she holds it in delivery, just take it like a man.
Just smile and nod your head, Justin. Smile and nod your head.
Just smile. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I've already got
need
enough
to-
practice on that.
You're a good husband. You're a good husband, man. Man, did y'all watch the watch football games? So check out the man. I was so pissed off Detroit lost. Like,
Yeah,
I was pulling for them so bad.
for
Yeah,
sure.
same.
Man, I was watching the Chiefs and the Ravens game, and I bet Zay Flowers right now is probably just kicking himself in the butt right now. Like,
Oh
man,
so bad.
man, gosh,
You know
tough
what?
loss.
I bet
That's-
Taylor Swift though. I bet Taylor Swift said, "Hey, Travis, if you win and go to the Super Bowl, I'll do." Pss, 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 pss." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's on."
Yeah.
The Kansas
I bet
City
I
Swifts.
bet if he wins Super Bowl, I bet he gets like a positive song about him versus like the dear John letters that all their other boyfriends get.
Hey, that album's going to be fire though when the breakup
yeah.
does happen.
Yeah, man. Speaking of fire, that little controversy with her, that was terrible. No, man, no. So y'all, man, what we got? T-minus what? 3 weeks for barbecue season? Are we 3 weeks? 4 weeks? Where are we at?
3 or 4 weeks, man. It's coming close, man. March 1st. Y'all gonna kick it off in Sip and Swine. I think we're gonna kick it off in Foley.
Sip and Saw, man. We're hitting all the big ones, man.
That's right.
I'm so happy. I mean, I'm gonna miss you guys at Sip and Swan this year. I'm sure I'm gonna miss you boys being there.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to miss you.
Give me and the super team, me and Steven gonna hold it down and give it our go. Give it a good go.
We
Oh, yeah.
will miss Nutter Butter.
Oh yeah, Nutter Butters, baby.
Oh man, I want to eat like 10 of those. I'm gonna die of it. I'm eating 10 of those things if I can win something. I never win in Georgia. Well, I don't know what is it about down there. It's like I don't cook with peachwood, or I don't know what I got to do down there. But they like their stuff super sweet. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anywho, man. So tonight, I don't know if everybody knows. I'm sure you've seen the post. We are giving away a foul form. Have you boys seen those yet? Those are badass.
Oh yeah, man. Those are changing the game for sure.
Oh,
Especially
man. Yeah, man. No, it's gonna be sick, dude. I like those. I use them. Use one set on my practice this previous weekend. Man, it holds it nice, and mine doesn't look like it's riding the short bus to the tournament tables.
there you go.
Like I looked at y'all's, like I remember like sitting next to y'all at the trailer, and I see your chicken turn ins, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. You know, you show me your nice, like perfectly dinner roll.
Botox.
Yeah, and I'm looking at mine. Mine's like, oh, it needs an extra hour of tutoring to get to that level.
Yeah.
Now all you got to do is work on the moisture content. I saw that practice. It looked real
Yeah.
dry.
No one asked
That thing. Whew,
No one asked your opinion. You stay in
that
the
thing
corner.
the thing with dry shoe leather, brother. I mean, you need to
Shut up,
get some moisture marriage in that thing.
You know what? I'm our guest tonight. I hear they cook a mean chicken, man.
Man, that's what I heard.
I was talking to
Perfect.
you guys about it, but
No shade.
but no, man. So I'm excited. We have one of the most well-traveled teams in backyard on our show tonight, Mr. Joey Lee and Chef Drew Wilson. That's not fair, man. They got a chef on their team. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of like, man, let's even the playing field. You know, we got to do something about this.
Man, that's like Michael Simon coming on and being in the backyard team. Like, come on.
Yeah.
AJ, you got the best looking guy in barbecue on your team, so I don't know why you're complaining.
Well, I'm
Who,
gonna shit
Tevin?
there from the shelf.
Does he even exist?
Where's Tevin?
All right, man. Let's bring these boys to the stage. Get them out the dungeon. Here we go. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Drew Wilson and Joey Lee of Furlongs.
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
What's up, fellas?
Man, you
Yeah.
see those behind Drew? That's an intimidation tactic. He's saying, "Look at this, man." He sees my puny little 3, and he goes, "That's cute."
Yeah.
I think Drew's showing you the ones that he's going to keep you from getting.
Oh,
Man.
dude,
Hey.
that's easy. That's
Oh.
easy. No, how you guys doing tonight, man? Y'all having a good off season? Have y'all started yet? Hey, how's things up in Minnesota?
Hey, Minnesota's warm right now. With no snow, we'll take it. You know, we're ready
I
to
saw
start cooking.
Alaska got 100 inches of snow, and that is
Last year.
100%. That is 100% of the reason why I will never live there.
That's exactly why I try to get Joey up here all the time. Like, just move up, man. It's great. He's like, fuck that. There's no way.
You guys have like 3 weeks of summer, and that's it. Like no joke.
That's why their beers and food is so good because they can't do nothing else, man. They're inside, literally drink. They make their own beers and make their own food, and it's just like there's nothing else to do up there. It's like, hey, we're snowed in, so let's just
Don't
do
forget the maple syrup. They
Oh,
make
yeah, the
maple syrup.
Don't
There
you
you
know?
go. Tap the
Don't you know
trees.
it's delicious, eh? No, that's awesome, man. So guys, tell me a little bit about where Furlong Smoking Seafood comes from, because that is an interesting barbecue name, and I'm excited to hear.
Cool. Drew,
Yeah.
you wanna tell
Logan,
the
you were
story?
talking about, being a Kentucky boy as well. The horse tracks, it well, football, basketball's life down there. Horse tracks for us has been huge. Always love the horse racing, the bourbon, the aspects is our hometown. Furlongs comes from the name of a measurement of a racetrack. So like 1/8 of a mile, quarter mile, furlong is a measurement of a racetrack. So when we were thinking about barbecue names, we're like, what really hits home for us? We're like, man, we really love horse racing. We love the track. We love the gambling. We love all those things. So let's integrate it into our team name. So that's how it came about.
That's awesome. Oh, hey, Justin, an 1/8 of a mile. That's like this much. Beer. I know. I don't know if you knew math and distance and stuff.
Is that what your wife told you?
But no, man, that's
Hey.
awesome, man. So Drew, are you originally from the Bluegrass State, or did you live in
What's that?
Bluegrass?
I'm from Kentucky. Born and raised in Kentucky. Yep, born and raised Louisville, Kentucky, and I was there my entire life until I left up to. I went up to New York to cook. I was up there for a couple years, and then I came to Minnesota, started a family. So, Justin, when's that baby dropping? I hear it's soon, right?
Yeah, next week.
Big Daddy. Big Daddy. Justin.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Sleep now.
Get
I'm just
ready.
sleeping nonstop. Like, it's fun. It's fun. So fun. Hey, Drew, tell these boys about. I was trying to tell them last week about hot browns, man. They don't know nothing about that hot brown. I said, man, for a turkey smoke, like that's me my go-to.
Joey, Joey.
We talked about it.
That is something. If you talk to him. That is his close to his heart. Hot brown, Steelbach Hotel, Brown Hotel, or Steelbach? Which one was it?
Yeah, I think it was the
Brown
brown.
Hotel. Brown Hotel sandwich. You get thick white bread, turkey, tomato, bacon, this cheese sauce. It's awesome.
Dude,
It's
you're
life
talking
changing.
dirty. That
Yeah.
Monterey cheddar cheese sauce on top.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, we talked about playing around with that at a couple turkey smokes. We weren't sure how
Yeah,
it
we were
would
gonna run it.
travel, but yeah, we've talked about it.
It's that cheese sauce is hard, man.
Oh yeah, especially we don't have we could probably do a little crock pot or a burner or something, but it's not like we've got
Right.
like a big trailer that's got a stovetop or anything, so it gets kind of dicey.
For sure. Well, man, speaking of like equipment, what do you guys run? Like, I know Joey. Last time I saw you, I think the last time I saw you was in Winchester, and this man rolls up like Brad Leidiger, like with a tent and 2 grills and a table, and that's it. And he just just whips it out and says, "Here we go, boys. Those are my trophies. Thank y'all."
Yeah, I told you that day, man. I said I go, you can have ribs and I'll take chicken. And
Oh,
you didn't take me up on that, man.
I didn't. I know. I turned in pork chops. I thought it was a pork chop turn in. I didn't realize it was a rib turn in. Thank you.
Man, we had a judge that always come by after the contest, and he came by fairly. He's like, man, I had the perfect piece of chicken today. And me and Justin Mine immediately knew it was furlongs smoking seafood. It was like, well, they got us again. And sure enough, perfect 180.
So let's go back. So I know we were talking about where the name came from. Funny story. So the whole seafood boy thing, right? So that was actually when we did our first contest in Alabama. It was down Smoke on the Water. Is that in Florence? That's the one in Florence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was our first one. That was our first one down there, and we did pretty well. And we got a call.
Let's talk about how we rolled up to that one.
Oh yeah.
We roll with the pop up. We load the drums. We load out the truck. We look like we don't know what we're doing. They're like, "Where are you boys sleeping tonight?" We're like,
"Yeah, we slept in the truck bed."
Back in the truck bed.
Stars.
Look at the stars. That's what we're doing.
Just like best buds. Just in the truck bed. And they're like, "Who are these jokers?" And
then won the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were right in front of. At awards. We were sitting pretty close to you guys, AJ and Justin.
Yeah.
And as usual, Hickory Hangover was live streaming. They were doing that, and so we went back and watched the video. One of our buddies was like, "Hey," so Alan from Wrecking Crew. We were talking to him on the way home, and he goes, "Yeah," he goes. Right after you guys got that third call, because it was pork as well as ribs and chicken. And you can go back and watch the video, and the guys from Hickory Hangover, they go, "Man, the Seafood Boys got it." And so that was where the Seafood Boys came from. Was we thought that was kind of funny, and it's always stuck ever since then. So that was our first in Alabama, and that's when it was coined. So we really can't take the credit for that. So that's the guys from Hickory Hangover. And I don't know, that may be the first time, if they're listening to this may be the first time that's ever been made public outside of our little circles. So so thank you to them. Cheers to them.
That was the first contest we got introduced to the typical Joey.
Yeah.
The fist bump.
You got the Kobe Bryant of barbecue.
Yeah, it was. That was fun. That was a fun one, and that was when we realized, oh wow, this is backyard is a really big deal down here. So that was kind of cool. And that kind of helped us chart our course, the past couple of years too, wanting to go do some different contests down south with, larger venues, a bunch of teams, decent payouts, so it's, you guys got it right, man. You guys got that formula down for sure.
Yeah. What, so you're, what do you cook on? You're a can cooker.
Yep. Yep. We cook on gateways. Yep.
Gateway. Have you always cooked on gateways, or what brought y'all to get drum smoking?
So we
just traveling.
So we cooked on whatever we had, man. We cooked it. We did a Masters. I think this is our first year competing. We did a Masters way in eastern Kentucky, like coal country, right? Like almost to the Virginia line. Mm-hmm. And it was like 1,000 degrees. It was on blacktop at this rec center. Excuse me. So that day we cooked on this ginormous stick burner that's probably like 1/4-inch steel. It eats wood like a wood chipper, man. And so we had that. We had the big boy. We had a homemade can. And we had my pellet smoker, and we had we didn't take the green egg down there, did we? That was in Madison, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was the big boy, the can, and a pellet cooker. We did get a pork call that day though, so that was pretty pumped. But yeah, it was 1,000,000 degrees. The guy,
again, typical our fashion. We roll up, single cab truck. Everything's loaded in the back of the bed. They're like, all right, everyone. We roll up, and everyone's got $100,000 RVs, Lambos. We're like, what did we just do? We don't belong. We're like, oh, we're gonna make a run at it. They're like, all right, everybody's kind of turning in for the night. They're like, where are you guys going? We're like, truck bed. They're like, what are you talking about? We're like, oh, we're sleeping in the trucks. We're gonna leave the AC on. We're just gonna sleep sitting up, and we're gonna be all right. They're like, you can go inside the rec center and sleep on the couches. But we were so sweaty. We've been sweating the entire day. You get inside, and the AC's blowing like 40 degrees inside, and you're freezing. No blankets, no pillows. It was miserable. But what you do. It's what you do.
Oh,
So yeah,
delicious.
So that's kind of where we got started from a cooker perspective, and then we'll typically do a couple classes every off season, just try to stay sharp and see what's out there, trends, profiles, gear, stuff like that. And we started talking, and we were like, cans are hitting. It's a small. It's not too hard to lug them around, So we kind of bit the bullet. We built a couple cans, liked them, cooked on them, liked them a lot. And then we just kind of slowly started acquiring gateways whenever we could. I remember I got a hot deal on one a few years back, and it was like really good shape. And it was like, I think it was like $500 in a case of Coors Light. And I was like, cool, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow. So, yeah. So that was, yeah. So we still have a couple of the OG cans. I've got one here. Drew's got one. We got Big Red up there at
Big
Drew's
Red.
house. Big Red pounds out some chicken up there for sure. So the gateways are 55s. That's a smaller one, Drew. You think, what is that? Is that like a 45 or a 40?
It's
something
a little
like
bit smaller. It's a little short and stout, thick on the hips. It's thick.
Ooh, thicker than a Snicker, huh?
Sturdy.
Right, sturdy. It's like
Sturdy.
So,
Oh man, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna say nothing. No, man, well that's cool, man. I think I remember when we started, we were a drinking team that cooked barbecue, and we rolled up like you did, rolled up in a parking lot, and we see all these pro guys with rigs and really nice smokers, and we're a bunch of backyarders, and we all have big green eggs, and we thought we were hot shit. We roll up, we're like, yeah, let's get these ceramic grills out that cost a fortune, and pray to God we don't drink or break them.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything. We had a tent, a table, and about $10,000 worth of bourbon, and then we were just praying. But no, man, that's awesome. So we all know you're a pretty successful team, as Drew likes to show us behind him. So
AJ's got a lot going on back there too. Don't be modest now. You got a lot going on.
Oh, I know. I get
light compared to you, man.
Every week though, you guys is special. It's a 1 week now.
Yeah.
No, but so everybody, has great success stories. But what's one of your best failure stories? Because everybody's got one. Like at a competition that you turned in and it was black, or your pit got on fire, or do you have any fun stories? You just
tell them the rib cook-off story, Drew, where we lost canopies and locksmith.
Oh man, that was terrible. That was so we're cooking at this local comp. We just got done doing another one. We got hooked on barbecue because we won the first one, and we're like, all right, let's just get after it and let's go see what we could do. We got there in the morning. I think it was probably 5 o'clock in the morning. Set up again, roll in, all packed in.
Rain sideways, right?
Rain is just ridiculous, And again, we're running. So Joe and I both have offsets that are stick burners that we both were cooking on. Same kind of rig, basically. They both suck. They're both terrible. I hate them.
Well, quantity over quality, right? When we would cater, we would just throw a ton of pork butts on there and call it a day, right? But not competition grade.
Brutal. We're raining sideways. We get there. We get out. We're like, hey, where we're setting up, where we're going. It's like, oh, yours are over there. We're like, I push the key fob on my truck, and the locks just go. they start just going off nonstop. I'm like, what's going on? Can't get in my truck. Got to call locksmith. He's like, yeah, $75, whatever. It's early morning, no big deal. He gets there. He's like, it's gonna be $150. I'm like, listen, man, we're not doing that. You're not hustling me right now. Pay the
It's like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we're set up. We got 2 canopies. All of a sudden, the wind comes through, and if you can imagine a highway, the highway billboards. Imagine your tent flying across one field and the other one flying across and landing on top of the billboard, and you're just watching like
pinned.
All right, this is the day.
Pinned up against the billboard.
We're gonna have to cook, and we're gonna have to cook in this shit weather, and we're just gonna have to get after it. We did all right that day. It wasn't great, but I think we battled through it, and it kind of taught us a lot about being prepared and be able to adapt and pivot, with weather, and especially now moving forward, understanding like we might have a great cook, but there's a lot of variables that we can't control that we have to adapt to and learn to, move around and adjust our cooks. Weather is huge, especially when we've been out in Kansas City, the worlds and all that stuff. The rain is just always a factor. I feel like every single time we've cooked in this past year, it's always been raining. So we've always been battling that. So learning to cook against the elements, I think we took away from that. So I think that's one of our biggest wins is learning to adapt.
Sure, man. I think that's where I know the best lessons I've ever learned in barbecue cost me, a couple zeros, from messing up and burning something and learning how to recover. I think that's what separates normal pit masters to elite pit masters is knowing how to pivot based on your surroundings and your environment. So I think that's like an important thing for anybody getting into barbecue competitions. Just know stuff's going to go bad eventually. Your grill's something's going to flare up.
Absolutely. We always talk about preparation. People talk about timelines and things of that nature, but like you have a timeline so you can adhere to it, but also too, so there's certain times you can pivot and learn. If you don't know what you're doing at a given point, you don't have time to intercept that and to adjust. So you're not comfortable making those adjustments because you don't know really what you're doing. So a timeline and learning that format. Joey's really, 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 really good at that. I don't do any of that legwork. I will give him all the credit on that. Is any of the logistics, the travels, like this is the dude that takes care of it all. So timelines, all that stuff, that's all him. I'm just there to cook. I know we said Chef Drew earlier, but I'm following a lot of his leads a lot of times. He's giving me a lot of, freedom to do a lot of things, but I think ultimately there's a lot of success between both of us. And so that's up to him.
That's awesome, man. Speaking of success, so like in barbecue, when you think of a successful person in competition barbecue, or just barbecue in general, barbecue business, barbecue restaurant, like who comes to mind to you guys? Like who is on your meat Rushmore?
I would
Smokey D's.
Yeah, I'd say definitely Darren Worth, right? I would say definitely Brad.
Yep.
I guess.
And and then like you said, from a restaurateur standpoint, Brad again, Darren again, Schaefer from Heavy Smoke. I still have not had a chance to go there. It's still on my to-do list. I've been there. I just every time I'm driving through, it's either late at night or early in the morning before they're open. So maybe I'm gonna get there soon. But
what would you throw out there? What's on your guys?
For me, we own a business, so I'm thinking more business minded. But I mean, if you think of total encapsulated, for me, it's going to be Tim Shear.
For sure. Yeah. I was going to say,
he's literally the JD Rockefeller of barbecue. I feel like he's all vertical integration from the charcoal to the cooker to the meat to the sauce to the rub. I'm sure he's going to have a trophy company coming out soon.
Yeah.
For you got Heath Riles. I mean, the man's a marketing genius. I mean, he's developed him and Matt Pittman developed a cult following almost of their brand, and I think that's such a great thing. It's hard to do that, create such a great product that it create actually a cult, or not a cult, but a following. Like you follow a sports team. I mean, there's diehard Heath Riles guys and diehard Meat Church guys.
There's
that.
Yeah.
Sure. Also, for social media aspect, I mean, I got to shout out my boy Malcolm Reed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no greater media guy for barbecue. Yeah, I mean, he's not known for like winning all these championships, but he's just like a down to earth, good guy you want to hang out with, and everything he cooks is going to be just fire.
Yeah, that's true, man. I think that was where we, like back in the day, that was like the only comp videos you could find was that Malcolm.
Everybody ran his stuff when they started off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that was it. We used.
When you search something on YouTube or something, it's like Malcolm Reed comes up automatic.
Yeah. No, 100%. And then watching Barbecue Pitmasters. I mean, Big Mo. Gosh, shout out my boy Big Mo Kason. I mean, he's turned that into an empire where he's got rubs and TV shows and seen them all over the place. So,
it was
Myron
really
Mix.
cool. Yeah, Myron. Yeah, for sure. We hadn't even touched on that yet. It was really cool to hear some of the old school story when we were at the banquet a few weeks ago. It was really cool to hear from Tuffy and Johnny Trigg. That was really, really cool because you see them on TV and stuff, but like to be 20 feet from them and shake hands with them, that was super cool, man. That was really cool to hear and kind of hear Tuffy and Trigg kind of jab each other and
sure.
And we got to hear from a bunch of people there. It was cool, man.
Yeah, well, that's one good thing about like barbecue. I feel like you had these guys you idolize, like especially if you're a student of the game like we are, where it's like you see these guys on TV and you like idolize them. And you're like, I want to be like them someday, and then you meet them and they're just down to earth, cool guys. They'll drink a beer with you. They're not like gonna shove you off. And I'd say probably 95% of everybody in barbecue, especially that elite status, is they're down to have a beer with you and say hey and like, hey, let me help you with your cook or here's some advice. I mean, you got some turds every once in a while, but I mean, the majority of them's all good.
Yeah, that was one thing that we were pleasantly surprised with was just the amount of good folks, man, that you meet, across the country on the barbecue trail. They give you the shirt off their back, man, and that we really got that feeling for sure. Now I'm not trying to plug anything just yet. The time will come, but down at Poozacu, man, they made you feel like royalty, man. Like if we would have asked them to set up our pop-ups, they would have did it. They would have done it. It was awesome, man. Like it was so cool. Like they no questions asked. They were there every 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Hey, you guys good? Did you check it on? Everything was cool, man. But yeah, there's so many good people out there that are competing and it's you see it too, like especially last year with Brad and Jordan going back and forth. That was really cool to see, like two people that are hyper competitive and good friends just kind of going back and forth and that was fun to watch too.
Yeah. Well, it's like like AJ and you, like I like all you guys, but I see at a contest, I know there's a good chance you're gonna kick my butt, but I would like nothing more than to beat you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna cheer for you when you win, but I still secretly want to kick your butt.
No, I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, and there's nothing better than getting to walk with your buddies too.
Sure,
we've had that a couple times where, I know that happened to us at Smoking and Steel a few years back in Minnesota, where we GC'd, and I think Wrecking Crew RGC'd. There's been a couple of situations like that where you get when they get to calling the names, and a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but you kind of know who's in the top two or three, so you're kind of staring across the aisle at each other. It's like, is it you? Is it me? So that's kind of fun too.
Right. I always love, like, especially these contests. Like I pay attention to, when AJ and Justin they get calls or you get calls, and like, all right, he got a fifth in this. Joey, of course, got a first in chicken, bastard. So you do that competition math. You're like, I'm over here like I got 213, so I'm good. No, yeah, I love it when, like, if I'm not gonna win, I want my friends to win, and I feel like that's part of the barbecue family. Like, we want to beat you, but we want to beat you at the best. Like, if you need a sauce or rub or anything like that, we're gonna give it to you. because we don't want you hear any whining whenever we beat you. But no,
It's
like
true.
I said, when AJ&M won, KCBS Backyard Team of the Year 2023. I couldn't have been proud of them boys. I couldn't be proud of them boys. And like I said, I hope to see everybody, all my friends, getting awards after me. But speaking of people that we admire and stuff in the barbecue world, like, did you have like a mentor, like a pro that you talked to, or somebody that's been in the game before you when you first got started to kind of help cut your teeth?
We really didn't have a true mentor. I think just especially with Joey, he's flying, I'm flying down, so we never really had someone local we can both go and share some knowledge. Luckily, we've both been able to have some classes we've been to, but locally we got a really good community of people up here. Machete Boys, we got some pro teams that really we know we can lean on and give a shout out and give a call, like, hey man, how you doing this? Or Machete Boys, you show me pork trimming at the Royal, just let me just watch you just for a little bit. I'm pork's not really we do it, but it's not really always something in our bag of tricks, so let me just get a couple tutorials one more time on how that works out. So if we had one person, no, but we collectively have a group of people we call upon.
Sure.
We're fortunate enough.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, we just like out of the blue, Drew's just like, let's go do this barbecue contest. I think we can do it. And I was like, okay, like, what's that mean though? Yeah,
no idea.
Yeah. So, and we ran the old, that old Killer Hogs recipe. And
man, tried and true, baby.
That's right.
And that was like 4 years ago, man. 4 or 5. That's crazy to think.
Way in the past, 4 whole years.
Way in the past.
Yeah.
So, do y'all have anything special that y'all do for comp, like a ritual or something that y'all do every week to trying to get ready and get your mind right before y'all go to competition?
I mean, we do have a couple of things. I know off the bat, I don't want to say this. I mean, the police aren't watching, but usually before we hit the road, we usually have a fireball shot or two
in the parking lot, in the driveway before we leave.
Before we hit the road, it's always a given that's going to happen. There's a couple our playlist. It's pretty. There's certain times when we're doing our cooks. Like I know I want my music. And Joey and I have different taste in music, but we do.
We do.
We do. I put those 80s, 90 bangers on, and Joey plays a little bit more of the rap music and dance and house music. So I know when it's time to do chicken, he's got the headphones on or earbuds in. He's doing chicken. He's got the music blasting. I'm outside with the crash test dummies playing and all that good stuff. So we do have some rituals. I mean, what about you guys? You guys got anything that's kind of outlandish or wild?
Man, well, me personally, I try to do everything the same day. For instance, if I, get my meat on the Sunday or Monday, I try to do the same day. I try to go to the same places. Don't try to switch anything up. Just try to do the same thing all week. And if I'm running behind one week, and we do good, I try to run behind the next week. It's it's kind of weird, but it just is a mind thing in my opinion.
It is a mind thing. I know every single time after we get done cooking, we're having Mexican food. Every cook Mexican food as soon as closest the divest and Mexican place we can find. That's what we're eating for sure.
Hey, Jay, don't lie, man. Tell him you wear that lucky leopard thong every time you walk to awards.
Justin got a little ritual that he does, when he pick up chicken. Yeah. Tell him, Justin.
Yeah. Which one you talking about?
About the moon pie or the Debbie cake and RC?
Oh no. So they got those little fried pies, the Miss Freshly fried pies. So whenever I go buy chicken, I go Tuesday night or after work every Tuesday, get chicken, and because that's when the truck runs, and I have to buy me a Miss Freshly fried pie. If I skip it, we finish like 15th or worse in chicken. But if I get it, we usually get a top 10 call. And I also got to wear the same shirt on Fridays when I show up and the same shirt on Saturday when we cook.
That's right.
It's funny you say pies because I did forget this, but
we haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, when we stop at Walmart, we always get they used to be 50-cent pies, but now they're like 74 cents. But we'd always be getting we'd always get like 6 or 8 options. I mean, sometimes we never eat them, but we just would have them. We'd always be like, oh, we got to buy the chocolate, we got to buy the coffee cake and the lemon pie.
The Louisiana Crunch.
Crunch. It is
so good. Yeah, those are just the little like single serve pies, over there in the little bread deli section.
I got you.
Yeah, sometimes they get smashed. Sometimes they sit for till the next barbecue contest. But yeah, that was a ritual for a while too.
Man, I gotta. AJ and Justin can attune to mine. I gotta have. So I play house music whenever I cook. Like, if you're not familiar with the DJ's two friends, Big Booty Mix 23, shout out. Highly recommend theirs. Justin or AJ got to see me do my dance on the back of the.
Oh man, he over there.
Yeah, baby. I like that white boy dad moods. Hashtag, sprinklers, all that stuff.
Please don't do it.
Yeah.
Please don't do it.
Justin's hanging on by a thread up there, man.
Yeah.
That was a little. No,
so
also,
man.
Yeah, I do like you guys. At the end of me and my partner Houston, after we do our last turn in, we always do a chug. We always do a beer chug after the last turn in.
There you go.
Brings us good luck for the bottom 13.
Man, so guys, we brought you on the show. Try to get some tips and tricks for some of the guys out here, and just if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. It's
you do have to answer.
No, it's no pressure, but we just want to know what does y'all week look like leading up to a comp? Like, what's your process?
It depends, man. Some at any point in time, he's traveling or I'm traveling, or we're doing a solo. So that's kind of unique with our group. Sometimes I'm flying up. We did a couple last year in Illinois where we kind of split the distance, like he drives 6 and I drive 6 and we meet at Illinois or something. So it just depends, man. Drew, we've got a,
usually it'd be, if Joey flies in, he's usually coming in, depending on how big the comp is, maybe Wednesday night. I usually pick him up on Thursday or Friday morning, scoop him up from the airport. I've loaded the trailer, usually it's Thursday night. He comes back. We used to trim chicken on site,
on prim,
on
site.
At the comp.
At the comp. We used to do it, and we roll in. They're like, "What are you guys gonna do? You ready to party?" We're like, we'll have a couple beers. We gotta go trim chicken." They're like, "What are you guys doing?" Like, what
there was about? One. Yeah, we're up partying, drinking, and then it's midnight.
Chicken.
Yeah, it's midnight, and then I'm like, "All right, boys, time to go trim chicken." And they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That makes me feel so much worse about my chicken game now. You guys fucking trim your shit at midnight and still kick your asses?
A couple years ago, not this past.
We learned now that it's worth the time to put into. He comes on Thursday night. We usually stay up and we trim chicken all night long, and then Friday we'll hit the road. We'll get there, set up, kind of relax a little bit, and then go after. We usually trim. If he's coming in, I know he's coming in. We usually trim together. I will say that is a ritual.
Yeah.
That is a ritual. Usually, I won't trim without him unless it's like dire need. Like if I'm traveling 6 hours, I'll usually trim out the ribs or I'll start the chicken and or vice versa. He'll do it down there. But usually we always do it whenever he gets in or I get in, and we just pound it out.
So are you like pre-making your your brines and stuff, sauces ahead of time? Or are you doing it on site?
We'll typically do the week of, Wednesday, Thursday night, something like that, depending on what the time looks like.
Okay.
But yeah, we used to be bad about that, and we used to just show up and then do all the shit there. And then we were like, man, there's no reason why we can't do this at the house when it's in the air conditioning. It's a lot easier and it's
Climate control.
Yeah. So
that was the downfall. You get to comp, and before we had a trailer, we're trying to do it with headlights and headlamps, and we're doing it midnight or whatever time we roll in, and it's just like, man, this is brutal. Like, what's everybody else doing? This is
right.
So we finally evolved and got a trailer. And we're like, all right, we can now let's just relax and enjoy it, and get with people and have some drinks and enjoy the atmosphere and not make it so stressful.
Yeah,
that's right. So we on the same subject as brine and injection. So do y'all brine and inject, brine only? What do y'all do, and what is your reason behind it?
So we've tried both. We've played with both. I really couldn't tell a difference when we only brine now. So we only brine the day of.
All right, hold up. Let me write that down. Only brine.
Don't act like you guys don't already have the note. I'm gonna pull up the DMs, fellas, and that goes for you too, Logan.
That's not a burn protocol, Joey. You don't do those. That's burn protocol.
Yeah, we brine the day of. We really, for our process, for what we do, we really couldn't taste the difference between injecting and brining and just brining. And especially chicken is tedious as it is. So any little, I don't want to say shortcuts, but anything that I can do to kind of ease that burden, and as long as we're not sacrificing quality and product, I'm cool with that. So we don't wrap and inject and then leave it there overnight and then brine the next day. It's just too much for me.
Well, we just felt like, it made sense to, like, if it's in a brine and submerged, it's evenly getting its time of day. But if you're injecting, it's like, man, how many am I injecting, or how much am I injecting into each thigh? Like, that was another variable that could change all the time. But we knew if we threw it all in a bucket and we're brining it, we knew if it was 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever we decided, we knew we could look at that as one variable versus being like, is it the brine or is it the injection? So we just alleviated which one we thought was the easiest to do, which was the injection. We got rid of that and just brine.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
Yeah, just do you try to keep them like pretty consistent size, or are you looking for a certain? Do you weigh them out, or you kind of eyeball it?
So yeah, we don't weigh them. We just try to eyeball it. We'll try to go for like a consistent shape. You know what I mean? Like, just sometimes they're a little bit too long, and I know that's okay, because once it comes out of the bath and it's super hot, you can kind of trim and pop some things off there and kind of get it to where you. So we don't weigh them out. We just try to go for a consistent shape. I'll sit them all side by side on the cutting board as I'm prepping, before I put them away, and make sure everybody looks, the same for the most part.
I mean, we typically run more than most, probably. I mean, we run pretty heavy on quantity of what we do, but we try to group it into, not try to give everything away, but we group it into what this 6 or 8 or 10 look like, and then what's this 6 look like. So even if they're longer and longer and thinner, we try to group those together so they all cook the same, and we know that those are the ones going to go in the box and they're going to look the same, and so we try to group everything together.
I mean, that's true, Alan. That's very true.
Man, so y'all rubs, man. What other type of flavor profile y'all running? Y'all running sweet or savory? Do y'all blend, layer the rubs? Try to give us some insight on y'all process.
Like, any of these, man. This isn't like
yeah, I mean,
no, that's we'll give you a little bit. We'll give you a little bit. But yeah, we layer everything. Excuse me. We layer the rubs. We played with wings for a while, and we didn't layer those. It was just a mixture of the rubs that we use. But we layer everything now, front and back. We do. Let's see. So yeah, we season them that way. We cook on a pizza screen. Yeah. We do, do the butter bath, the Kerrygold stuff. We do unsalted. I don't think that matters as long as you got good butter, right? I don't think it matters.
Right.
You know, I think we're all going to say we probably all do the same techniques. You know, we all pretty much run the same recipes. You know, I'm not saying we're any better at it, what we do on a given day. We might realize we're looking at, we're like, we'll talk to Joey and I'll be like, hey man, how's up? Do you smell butter? Do you smell it yet? Or, you know, we take a look at this. What do you think? And he's looking at it, he's like, we need to go a little bit more. So I think once you understand the recipe of what you're looking for, your end results, is understanding what that looks like throughout the cook. And then again, I'm not, you know, saying we're the best at it, but you know, we've luckily enough to be able to see those things that sparks in our mind. Okay, that the butter's not, you know, bubbling, it's not smoking yet. We need to go a little bit more, or you know, the ribs are this way, we need to dial it back down. So we just look for those variables. We know those cues in the cook. We look for the right cue, and you know, we look for those, and we just try to make the play on that. That's how we adjust our cooks. And you know, and I will say our chicken trim is probably more aggressive than most.
We trim like the whole process.
The prep work in the chicken is pretty ridiculous.
I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, it's hard for me to talk to like normal people that don't do competition about like how I always say how stupid chicken thighs, like trimming chicken thighs are. They don't understand. It's like, yeah, I buy 6 packs and I'm like, if I get 12 that I want out of them, and like I said, I'm not gonna have you guys be the only one that, you know, show your skirts today. Like I said, I'll say I want to hear what AJ. Somebody's. I looked on the standings, and somebody's the chicken team of the year right now, leading in standings, man.
Yeah.
Wow, what's up?
I don't know what's going on here.
Who was that?
We went past.
Do what now?
I like your all's layout too. I like those. I like how you guys run that 7 in the box, like that 3 and those 2 on each side. I like that.
Oh yeah,
That's
all Justin. It's all Justin.
Nice, good job, bud.
Thanks.
Yeah, you ever tried like blending your like? I started doing that this year. Talked to some pro teams and stuff. I'm trying to just nag everybody I possibly can about tips and tricks and stuff. Have you ever tried to blend your rubs together to like layer it on there to be like a more consistent? Because last year I felt like that was my downfall sometimes. Like, you ever get like heavy handed on certain legs, and then with, you know, especially if you have multiple layers of flavor you're putting on there, and it gets a little thick. Because I feel like chicken, like you can get away for like, you know, pork and ribs, you can really hammer it sometimes, you know, and it doesn't make a huge difference. But chicken, if you like hammer chicken, I feel like, I mean, you can't go back from that. You know, it's not like I can wash it off and like, for me, because you got the brown and everything in there, like it's a one shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, usually, you know, Joey kind of leaves me do with my ribs, so I wish maybe he would have more interjection. Maybe we do better in ribs, but you know, I usually stand over top of Joey's shoulder. As he's shaking the bottle, you know, shaking the shaker. I'm like, ooh, man,
like,
back off that a little bit.
Walk away.
Like, whoa, you know, like, I'm like, hey, go easy, you know. So I'm always, I hate to say that, I am definitely over his shoulder the whole time to not coach, but definitely to be like that extra set of eyes, being like, hey man, that looks heavy. That looks, we're gonna toss that one and we're gonna do that over. But he's usually pretty good about that. I mean, it's usually kind of like a certain style. He always, you know, takes, you know, shakes and throws your shit out on the floor and, you know, gets it to the right consistency, what he likes. But overall, I definitely try to, you know, eyeball that as well, because it is. I mean, you go too heavy on chicken. I do agree. I mean, it's definitely gonna affect your color and taste all day long.
Right. Well, and that's why we'll do a couple extra too, you know, just in case. And then a lot. And like Drew said, we'll get. What's that?
You cook 7 thighs, right? You know what y'all do?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Let it ride.
But yeah,
Rumor has he cooks 5. So you get the perfect 180.
But yeah, so we'll do like Drew said, sometimes it gets a little out of control, and I try to like color match everything, and it's just like, no, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth having extra eyes, man. Justin has helped me countless times. So you know, so as I helped him, you know, just seeing stuff that I can't see, boxing, pepper flakes, stuff like that, it's definitely helpful to have another set of eyes for sure.
100%.
Did you ever get we got like a bright LED light that we shine on our ribs and chicken and stuff now? Because like, you know, you get like the fluorescent light sometimes in the trailer, and it looks one thing, but then when you get it outside, you're like, oh god, it's like that. The girl you take home at the bar the next morning, you're like, who are you?
Yeah,
that's
that's like
that's
in
what
the
box are sometimes. I'm like walk outside, I'm like, what did I do?
yeah, that's like the second part of the year. We installed 2 bright LED lights right above the prep table. Helps out tremendous.
Game changer.
Yep.
Game changer.
So man, just once again, you don't have to answer this, but what's one thing specifically that y'all have done that has helped y'all consistently score in the top 5 of chicken, throughout every comp? One thing that y'all do.
I hate to be lame, man, but it's just attention to detail. I think it really is. And like Drew said, timeline's important. I think chicken's kind of one of those where it's more often than not, you can pretty much hammer that timeline and be right where you need to be. Ribs are funny. Everything else, ribs, pork, brisket, there's a lot of leeway there. But I think for more often than not, as long as we hit that timeline, we're pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that. I mean, that timeline for chicken, I mean, it is pretty much, I won't say Bible, but I mean, we are pretty rigid to that timeline. Ribs, again, maybe that affects our scores, but I feel like we just really focus really hard on the first half of the cook. So we know that's locked in, we're good.
Right.
The ribs, we know that's always going to be a variable. We know there's always going to be some changes of the meat and the quality and texture, and if it could take more smoke or whatever. So we always try to leave a little bit more room on the backside, even for the chicken to adjust cooks. But like Joey said, attention to detail, the timeline, being set up ready. Like I am pretty weird when it comes to the trailer. Like I like things the exact same way every single time. I want to know exactly where they are. When Joey's, doing his thing, I'm kind of cleaned up right behind him. So it's clean, it's precise. We're not searching for things. We're not looking for the boxes. We know where those are. We know where things are. So we're not wasting time thinking about other things. We're just really focusing on the boxes.
I think that's what separates like the average Joe backyarder, starting off to like the elite teams, like, the Brads and the Joe Pierces and stuff like that. Because like Joe, did you take Joe Pierce's class? Did you say you took that, or I forgot who I talked to. I took Joe Pierce's class and I looked at like he gives you his timeline and everything like that. Like, I mean, that dude's like every 2.5 minutes he's like has on his thing. He's like, I do this at this point. This point I do this point I do this. I take a nap at this time. And I feel like the more structured you are is like for a tip for new guys, like be anal, be like, super structured and, super just, obnoxious. Cause I mean, that makes the world a difference, especially like nailing in the timelines. And like, do you guys win chicken? Especially for me, like I like turning my chicken in like right at the start, because it gives you more time for the proteins. Are y'all like early one, or do y'all like ride it to the end?
Yeah, we'll try to hit the early window. Obviously, if we see somebody else that we know is pretty good in chicken, we may slow our walk a little bit. There's some strategy in table placement and all that stuff too. But yeah, we typically hit the front end of the chicken window.
I got you. Right here, we got a question from the comments. Pork About It asks, what causes my chicken skins to split? Y'all help him out with that.
Forget about it.
So those are some good friends of ours from up north there. That's a good question.
I mean, you guys I think, I mean, I'll let Joey chime in after me. I'm sorry. Let me just throw my 2 cents in, which means nothing. But I think either if you're trimming chicken or you're scraping, if you scrape too much fat and it becomes thin and brittle, then I think it will affect the heat. I think you have to have some fat to render out, also to preserve that skin. I mean, that's just my thoughts, but maybe we'll give Joey a shot at it.
Yeah, so I think so. Very good point. I think it is 100% because the cooker they cook on is too expensive. They cook on they cook on a Lone Star Grills pellet smoker. It's got a built-in. That's too much. You got to dial it back, man. You gotta dial it back.
Man.
Don't be bougie.
That's great answers. Man, last question about chicken, man. Last question. So it's debate we walk around, talk to people at contests. You know, some people dunk their sauce and set it on the smoker, which we do, and some people just dunk it and run with it. What do y'all do, and what would you recommend to some of the newcomers out here?
So we've pretty much did the same thing, and we've heard this last like 5 minutes of the cook. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. For us, we dunk, and then we put finishing powder on, and then we set it on the pizza screen, and then throw it on the smoker.
Yeah, we
do put some pellets too. We do use cherry pellets for chicken. I know some. I know we've been in a couple groups and forums where there was a big discussion on if you do, if you don't. But personally, we do. We just think it gives it a little kiss of smoke. Doesn't affect the color too much, just because the sauce that we run is typically a little darker. But yeah, that's what we do. So dunk, finishing powder on the pizza screen, cherry pellets, send it.
Cool.
There you go.
Thank you for the answer, man. I just want to also tell the viewers, that's here, make sure you like and share our page, because here in a little bit, we're going to be giving away some foul forms, and you can up your chicken game. Be like Joey and Drew, 180. On demand.
Perfect.
On demand.
I need all the tools I can get.
So before we dive into my portion of the questions, let's get that little crack going.
Nice. Bush peach.
Clear my throat a little bit.
Is that bush
So
peach?
It is.
Hashtag chicken ain't easy. If you could change one thing about competition barbecue, what would it be?
Ooh. I wish there'd be more backyard contests that are closer to me, man. For my own selfish reason, just somebody have the closest I can get is about 2 hours, hour and a half. I need somebody out there to sponsor a KCBS contest close to my house. Any takers, just hit me up. That's what I need.
How about you, Drew?
That's a great question. I'm trying to rack my brain while Joe is speaking about having a closer comp, but I mean, sometimes it's really hard to see the inconsistency in judging. Sometimes for me, I mean, personally, when you think you do a good cook, but that's just part of the game. So that's just something that I think it's one of those things I'd love to change, but also what makes you better as a competition cook and a competitor is knowing that, hey, I just did a great cook. It is what it is. But sometimes it's hard to swallow when I travel. Joey comes up and he crushes chicken, and then I come in as a 18th or 22nd in ribs or something, and I just bomb it. And so it's hard to hear those things happening with that. So I don't know. I mean, overall, I think the experience is good. It's built our community. I mean, AJ, we got to spend some time down at the banquet, go eat some food, see some places and visit. So I think overall, I really am happy with the experience and what I have in barbecue, because it's opened up some doors and meet some great people and travel the country. And it's awesome.
Yeah, man. Just touching on that, if y'all come into the Worlds, we definitely got to make a trip out, spend some time together and grab some eats, man. World Invitational.
That was fun at the banquet, man. When we went to that little market, that was super cool, man.
And Nashville got all those hidden gems, man. So we can definitely hit something up.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've heard that's a good city. I've never been there.
So, what are some of y'all's goals for this year?
Good question.
Great question. I will say that to be a top 10 KCBS and rib team, obviously be number 1 in chicken. Just try to we want to be better than what we were last year. As long as we're progressing and we're trying new events and we're trying new things, we definitely want to focus on the events that we have fun at versus and what we do well at as well, versus just being we're chasing points. We got to do this comp. We got to do this. We got to do that. So we're trying to ease off that and enjoy it a little bit more, and then have some success and see if we can get out of that 12th or 11th spot in ribs and break that break that barrier in the rib category. So we'll see what we can do this year.
We just got to go south.
Look you
The
up, man.
ribs,
Like all top fives.
ribs
Yeah.
hit down south. That's where we need to go.
Yeah, come on down. Come on down.
It's easy. It's easy in Alabama, man. That's where I go. That's what I always do. I just go to Alabama where all the no-name cooks are.
How about that? For heavy hitters.
Yeah. So now's one of our favorite times of the show. It's time for the Brothers Q barbecue supply lightning round. It's where we ask a series of questions, and it's just one answer, a straight thing off whatever's off the top of your head. So if you guys are ready, we'll touch on that one.
All right,
go.
cool.
What's your favorite thing to cook at home?
Scallops.
Tacos.
Which they drew.
Nice. Besides chicken, what's your favorite category?
Oof, let's go ribs. I would say pork, actually, even though we don't do well and we don't know really what we're doing, but we'll say pork.
I like brisket. I love cooking brisket here at the house. I got my hands on some A9s last year, played with those. That was really fun. So brisket's definitely gotta get some more reps.
Lightning round, man. Lightning round. There
Sorry.
you go.
What's one thing you always have to have in your trailer?
Lightning
The
round crew.
Karaoke machine.
Karaoke machine and pan.
What is
Chicken little-
your go-to meal at a barbecue comp?
We don't eat. Usually don't eat. We usually
No,
bring zero
seriously.
food.
Seriously.
No joke.
Mexican food afterwards. We're eating like
That's what
chips
we
and
do.
those and the pies.
Survive off beer, baby.
That's it. We usually drink our lunch and dinner. That's it.
What's one thing you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning of your barbecue career?
How
that's-
pricey this thing is. I mean, dang. And addictive. Expensive and addictive. I would say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say it's an addictive hobby and a passion. I mean, I definitely did not. I mean, we looked at some of the books and the bookkeeper. It is expensive. Yeah, absolutely.
So last one is, and we know Logan's would be "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift because he's
Shake
probably
it
in the
up,
back half of
shake
the top
it up.
10 while all of us are all walking up. But what would be your one walk-up song if you could have one at a comp?
Narco. You guys know Narco, the song Narco? Yeah.
No.
That would be one.
I did the Hulk Hogan theme song.
Oh, yeah. I am in a real
in
American.
Nashville.
Yeah.
I heard
That's-
that and I was like, yes.
I am a real American.
Exactly.
Then what y'all walked up to it, smoke on the shore like
Yeah.
a virgin.
Pick your day
I
job, Logan.
This year, smoking on the shore, do
Please.
like walk up songs. I'm gonna do Shania Twain. Let's go, girls.
Please don't.
Dude, don't lie. Y'all hear that song? Y'all gonna run through a wall.
That's right.
We ain't no much now, AJ.
That laugh.
It's AJ's laugh.
Okay.
That's the biggest smile. I've seen them all the time. Pearl, he only gets like 3 smiles a day at most.
Oh,
If
man.
we get 2 and we get 1. So
Man, y'all make me
appreciate
cry
that.
over here, man.
It's great love. No, guys, thank y'all so much for being on the show today, man. I always enjoy seeing Joe. I would love to see both you guys at some of these Bama comps. You need to make it down here, buddy. Bring us some of that Minnesota flavor
And some crab legs.
crab
That's
legs.
right.
Any seafood, these scallops I hear about. Like, I'm down for all that because I love barbecue, but I don't want to eat it. But where? So tell our wonderful audience where we can find you guys at, and if you have any sponsors you want to shout out.
Cool. Instagram and Facebook. We're not TikTokers or anything like that, but yeah, Instagram and Facebook, Furlongs BBQ. Shout out to our sponsors, Smokestack Barbecue Supply,
Nice
up
shirts.
in
Very
Minnesota. So thank you to them for keeping us stocked with everything. We shout out to Springer Mountain Farms. Love their chicken. We were sponsored by them last year. Hoping to be on the Springer Mountain team again this year. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Prairie Fresh.
And Prairie Fresh. Yeah, we love the Prairie Fresh. And same thing for Smokin' Bros rubs and seasoning. We also use a lot of their stuff as well, and appreciate them too.
And Brookie Seafood Market here in Minnesota as well.
Yep.
Seafood boys.
Seafood boys in the house.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Man, thank y'all so much for being with us today, man. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. I appreciate all the shigging tips that we received from you guys. I mean, advice. Hopefully, I look forward to seeing you boys on the trail, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you on the top 10 soon.
Yes, sir.
But, awesome, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you on the show today, and I'll talk to you later, all right?
All right, see you guys.
See you, boys.
See you, boys.
All right, ladies, y'all take notes?
Yeah.
I've got texts. I didn't need notes.
You got to, I can rewatch the show. But no, man, that was a great one. Those guys are awesome.
Oh yeah.
Just solid cooks, solid guys. Man, it doesn't get no better. Man, next week, we're starting off. It's gonna be February, birthday week. What?
Whoop, whoop.
Just
Old as dirt.
Want it up. Want it up.
Run it up. We got my personal barbecue hero, Big Mo K-Son, to kick off of our series of Black History Month episodes.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, man.
Make sure y'all tune in.
That's right, man. We may or may not have some more chicken royalty coming on the show in February. Maybe not.
Oh yeah.
Hat, wink, wink, tip.
Wink, wink, tip, tip. No, guys, but you guys got any other announcements you want to hand out? Anything else? Make sure, like I said, guys, make sure to be in running for those poultry fouls or foul forms. I can't talk.
Yeah.
So when
Be sure to like, share, and follow this page. We appreciate you guys. We've had a great audience of 10,000 tonight. No, but man, we got a great shows coming up, and we appreciate you guys. So, man, until next time, may you be surrounded by great barbecue and even better friends. All right, man. See you guys.
See you guys.
That's all, folks.